Hello, we continue reading the book Take Back Your Life by Dale Burke. Serve your way to success. Nurture a servant spirit. Three of the most common words in the English language happen to be among the shortest. They are me, my, and mine. Do you remember how early in life you learned those words? Anyone who has children knows these words rank right near the top, near Dada and Mama. Early in life, right from the womb, our sin nature whispers into our ears, "You are the center of the universe." And before long, we begin to believe that life is all about us. It's one of the reasons my life grows and goes out of control. The monster loves the sound of these M words. Why? Because if life is all about me, then our pride drives us to climb for success. It empowers the monster and keeps our lives out of control. If you want to take back your life, get it back under control and nurture humility. Humility weakens the monster and empowers real success. It calls us to let God be God and surrender control to Him. And it calls us to think and act like a servant. Without nurturing humility, you will never take back your life. The essence of pride. Recently, I came across a list called Toddler's Rules of Possession. See if you can't relate to these. 1. If I like it, it's mine. 2. If it's in my hand, it's mine. 3. If I can take it from you, it's mine. 4. If I had it a little while ago, it's mine. 5. If it's mine, it must never appear to be yours in any way. 6. If I'm doing or building something, all the pieces are mine. 7. If it looks just like mine, it's mine. 8. If I saw it first, it's mine. 9. If you are playing with something and you put it down, it automatically becomes mine. 10. If it's broken, it's yours. We may laugh at these, but there is more truth in that list than we want to admit. While these rules truthfully and humorously depict our children at play, they also truthfully but not so humorously depict our own behavior in our homes, offices, churches, and neighborhoods. Once again, at the root of this all too common selfishness is our number one enemy, pride. It keeps raising its ugly head as we move to recapture life as God designed it. And Jesus, with even more certainty, taught, if you want to be great, be a servant. Being a servant, as Jesus was, requires real humility. The essence of humility. So, what is humility? What does it mean to not be proud? Is humility the opposite of pride? While humility may morally oppose pride in that it is a virtue, while pride is a vice, humility is not by definition the opposite of pride. Pride is defined as thinking too highly of oneself. And if humility were the opposite of pride, then humility would be defined as having a low opinion of oneself. Yet Jesus Christ, as the Son of God, was the perfect model of humility, and he didn't hold to a low view of himself. So what exactly is humility? Here's what one Bible dictionary says. Humility. Humility in the spiritual sense is an inwrought grace of the soul that allows one to think of himself no more highly than he ought to think. Ephesians 4:1 and 2, Colossians 3:12 and 13, Romans 12:3. I would propose that at the heart of humility is a willingness to bow low and serve others. It does not need to be first to be adored, to be lifted up as the center of attention, even if it deserves all of the above. Christ certainly deserved adoration, attention, and admiration. Yet in humility he chose the role of and demeanor of a servant. He didn't give up his strengths. He never quit being the Son of God. He used his strengths for others. Humility serves with its best stuff while acknowledging that all our best stuff comes as gifts from God. A correct view of humility. To be humble does not mean viewing oneself as worthless or having little to offer. Rather, a humble believer needs to have a true and informed perspective, an objective evaluation of both his or her strengths and weaknesses. Before servants can be of maximum value to those who are being served, they need to be fully aware of the gifts and abilities God has entrusted to them. If in false humility they feel they have little to offer, they will be of little value to anyone. Humility has a buffering effect on pride. As we become humbler, we become less prideful and vice versa. Therefore, humility can help flush the venom of pride out of our veins. Humility's antidotal effects on pride may be misunderstood as producing weakness, leaving us vulnerable to abuse or defeat. Some of us may fear that nurturing humility will lead to failure in the various endeavors of life. Others fear it is the first step toward mediocre performance, career stagnation, and abusive treatment in our relationships. In other words, does humility turn us into gutless wimps? Absolutely not. Again, Christ is our model for true humility, and he was certainly no wimp. Don't fear humility, pursue it. Humility, a mark of greatness. The world's mindset typically perceives that the most successful leaders are ruthlessly ambitious egomaniacs who shove aside all who get between them and the top rung of the ladder to success. But recent evidence gives a different testimony. The leaders in many of the best businesses and organizations today possess a spirit of humility. In his landmark book, Good to Great, Jim Collins reports the surprise he felt when the research on top executives of good to great companies came in. We were surprised, shocked really, to discover the type of leadership required for turning a good company into a great one. Compared to high-profile leaders with big personalities who make headlines and become celebrities, the good to great leaders seem to have come from Mars. Self-effacing, quiet, reserved, even shy, these leaders are a paradoxical blend of personal humility and professional will. Do you see yourself struggling with too much pride and not enough humility? Do you expect others to wait on you, or do you look for a chance to serve others? Are you more of a master or a servant? If we're honest, we will all admit that at times we struggle with pride. And if we want to take the humility step down the ladder of success, we first need to admit that pride is an ever-present enemy in our life. We need to weed out pride and work at cultivating a servant's heart. So how can we learn to spot the weeds of pride? The warning signs of pride. We often don't recognize it, but pride creeps into every aspect of our lives, including our relationships with other people. Pride manifests itself in various ways. One of the most common is when we catch ourselves thinking, what's in it for me? We seldom say it, but we think it, and we make our choices based on the answer. Pride says, what's in it for me? Here are 4 more warning signs that pride is alive and well in our life. It's all about me. Pride keeps us walled up in our own world. where we are the only one who matters. However, humility says, this is God's world, and I'm sharing it with others who have needs too. Look out for number one. Pride not only tells you that it is all about you, but it reminds you that you and your needs reign supreme. Pride says, watch your backside as you climb and don't let anyone pass you up. Humility says, look back and see if anyone is being left behind. Reach back and give them a hand. I deserve a break today. Pride says, I deserve a break. I deserve better. I deserve more pay, a better life, more toys. This attitude comes from a spirit of want, which turns blessings into rights. Humility sees the good life as an unwarranted blessing, a gracious gift from God, and a prompt for praise instead of pride. I can do it alone. Pride says, I don't need anyone's help. Pride leaves no room for God as the ultimate giver of all the good gifts. It creates the illusion of self-sufficiency. Humility recognizes the hand of God, sin or unseen, in all good gifts.